Welcome in, my beautiful builders. In today's episode, we're going to be getting some ships into our port. So, we're going to take this and turn it into that. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Survival Kingdom Let's Play. I hope you guys enjoyed that brand new intro for the series. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments section down below, but I think that came out looking really good. Kind of like our farmlands here. You like that segue? That was a good segue. In the last episode, we worked over in this area, got all of the fields in, got these beautiful, beautiful cottages in place, and ever since that episode, I've really just liked, I've liked waking up over here with the sun rising over the mountains and it hitting these fields. It's just gorgeous. It really is a gorgeous area to be in. But we're going to be heading away from here today because we are going back to our port project. We're going to be working on some ships today, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the greatest at building ships. I'm decent. I'm decent at best. So this is one of those episodes that I've both been looking forward to and dreading. It's one of those things where I can't wait to get some beautiful ships into our port. At the same time, I hope that I can build ships that are gorgeous for our port. So today's going to be a bit of a challenge, but I'm up for it. I think that things are going to come out for the best today. So back over here at the port, and it does feel good to be back. I have to say, I kind of burned myself out in the last episode. I really did. I did way too much farmland for one episode. Getting all of that soil hydrated and getting all of the flowers bone mealed, it was a lot. It was a lot. So it's nice to be back into this area where things are a little bit more developed. I'd say. In today's episode, we're going to be working out here in the water, though. We're going to get some ships into this port because having a port with no ships is pretty boring. If I do say so myself, pretty boring to have all of these empty slots around here. So today, we're going to try and get some in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to not overfill our port here. I don't want a ship in every single one of these slots because then it's going to feel very crammed. It's going to feel very crammed and jam-packed in here. And that's not really the feel that I'm going for. I'm going for busy, but not overly busy, right? I still want to be able to stand here and see the ship that's in this slot over here. So maybe we don't have a ship here. Maybe we have a ship coming into the port out there for this slot or something like that. I want the port to feel alive, but not overly crowded, right? Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. So that's our goal for today. Our goal for today is to build a lot of ships, but not too many. We're going to walk a fine line today. But before we get too far into today's episode, I want to mention a couple of things. First, boop, on screen now is a little bit of fan art that I got from Looney the Witch. And Looney is, Looney's making fun of me getting rained on every time I hit the record button. It seems to happen all the time now. So I very much appreciate this, Looney. I absolutely love fan art like this. And if you guys have fan art that you would like to share as well, you can do so on Twitter or in my Discord. That is perfectly fine. I love showing things like this off in our videos. Come on, let me sleep, game. But anyway, thank you very much for that fan art, Looney the Witch. I very much appreciate it. The other thing that I wanted to mention is we now have a lot of shulker boxes around here. And that's probably something that you noticed immediately. And that's because I actually spent many hours this morning going into the end, doing end raiding, and collecting up a ton of shulker boxes. So this should help us move around materials in our world a lot easier. So hopefully, can I sleep? Boom, beautiful. Oh man, it takes absolutely forever for that sun to fully go down. But anyway, Yeah, all these shulker boxes, this is going to help us get around materials in our world now, so hopefully moving from project to project is going to be a little bit easier, and it should hopefully help for today being out in the water as well. So knowing that I'm not the best shipbuilder in the world, it wouldn't make sense for me to immediately jump to the larger ships. It's probably better for me to start down here at this end and work through some of the smaller ships. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a couple of boats that can fit into these little slots here, and we'll slowly work our way up into some of the bigger ones. Now, this boat that I'm doing here is incredibly simple because it's not very big. It's not very big at all, and because of that, we can actually put this one together very, very easily. Let's go ahead and double slab here, and we'll do an upside down stair like so. And there we go. This is the front portion of our ship already done. Super, super simple. Now from here, what we're going to do is work from these fence gates. So we're going to do an upside down stair there, an upside down stair there, and then there, and then come around back to the back, and there. Now, on the back side of those, we're going to do planks there, and then we're just going to wrap around the back with some slabs, one out toward the end, and then one right there. And that should be the basics of this entire boat. Nice and simple. Now, we can go ahead and add in some other blocks in order to give it some more color, something like spruce trap doors like this. And I like to do this. First off, it adds another texture, another couple of colors into this because it is mostly spruce, but it also adds a little bit of what looks like a drop down in the center, right? And a lot of boats actually have that. They start off bigger at the back, they go kind of down in the middle a little bit, and then as they go toward the front, they get bigger again. So that is a nice little touch that we can add there. And then the last bit, the piece de resistance, is a little flag. A little flag. We'll go ahead and add a piece of wool there, and then boop, boop, just like that. And we'll go ahead and take out this block. And now we should have our first little boat for this area. Isn't it cute? And we are now the leaders of our pirate ship. Let's get a seat in here for us and a chest for our booty. and here we go. Yar! Oh, I'm the worst pirate ever. This is the smallest boat ever, but it's very simple and fits into this slot perfect. The only thing that I would like is some way to like go in and out of this boat. I mean, obviously this is supposed to be the in and out, but you know, this boat sits a little bit close to the water. There's not a whole lot that I can do about that. So for this next boat, we're going to go a little bit bigger than that first one, but it's still not going to be a huge boat by any means. So let's go ahead and get this guy in. And the style for this boat is a little bit different. I want to say this boat is called like a skidder, like a Japanese style skidder, but I may be very, very wrong with that. It may be some completely different style. I'm not entirely sure, but this is a boat that I have made plenty of times in the past, and it looks quite good. However, I may have made it a little bit too close to the dock here. I may want to actually scoot this back by one more block just to make sure that we're not slamming up against the dock here. So let's go ahead and push this block one more back. It's going to extend out from the port slot here just a bit, but that's okay. We can work with that. So upside down stair there, right side up stair, upside down, and then we'll go slab, 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 and then slab, slab. So now we have a little bit of room here, so it doesn't look like we just wrecked our ship. Okay, so off of the back, we actually did not replace this, so let's make sure that we have 8 blocks here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then this one should actually be a upside down stair like that. Okay, so now we're going to have a full block on each side of this, and then here we're actually going to have upside down dark oak stairs and also regular spruce stairs. So let me show you guys. This is actually kind of an interesting pattern that we're going to do for the side of this ship here. So let's get plenty of stairs, make sure that we have enough. And what we're going to do is we're going to have upside down dark oak like this, and then next to that we're going to go to the inside of the build and do a spruce stair like that. And then we're going to come right back to the outside. We're going to do dark oak upside down, and then a spruce right side up this way. And we're going to do this all the way down until we hit right, let's see, we're going to go till right here. So we're actually going to end up covering up this stair with a dark oak. So let's just go ahead and do this really quickly. Okay, so we should have something that looks a little bit like this, and now what we can do is come in with some spruce trap doors and put them on the sides of each one of these spruce blocks, just like this. And now we have a nice little side of our ship. Very nice, very nice. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side real quick. So now we have both sides of the ship done. Let's go ahead and do the back end of this thing. So we're going to do a stair like this, an upside down stair, and then another stair up and a upside down stair. Nice and simple like that. Dark oak stair here, dark oak stair here, and then what we're going to do is just run some spruce planks here and here, and then off the back we'll do dark oak stair upside down and dark oak stair upside down. So it's a little bit bulky back here at the back, but that's okay. It actually helps to fill out the ship a little bit more. We can also go ahead if we want to and add our flag to the back here. However, oh yeah, I do. Okay, I thought I didn't have any spruce fences on me. So we'll go ahead and put our spruce fence down, and let's grab some different colored wool. I'm thinking let's grab some white and let's grab some yellow. I kind of want this ship in particular to feel like it's coming from more of a desert area, right? I want it to feel a little bit bright, like, I don't know, maybe this is like the landscape of being white, and then this is the sun, so it's, you know, a little bit symbolic of what area this place came from. Let's see, do I have another wool? I don't know how I want to do this flag. I may just do two at a diagonal, but let's see. Let's do this and that. Yeah, I definitely want to do it at a diagonal. Let's grab this. Perfect. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Should have ourselves a nice little flag. Perfect. Perfect. I like that. Okay, so now we need to get the sail that's here in the middle. But first, I need to sleep. All right, so in my opinion, the sail for this boat is actually what sells this boat, because it's going to be a diagonal sail. It's going to start here at the front and go diagonally across the ship, kind of like a fan or something like that. So this is going to be our main mast, and what we're going to do is come out by one block in the front, 2 blocks down from the top, and then we're going to come out the back 2 more blocks just like that. So we should have this as our main structure. Now we're going to have a spruce fence here, a spruce fence here, and then one out toward the front here. And these fences are going to kind of give you the idea of what we're going for here. But let's go ahead and place a spruce fence here, and then we'll have one that goes up to the top and then out again. And then we'll also have one that goes just like this. And I'm hoping that I actually do this right, because this is kind of a complicated sail design, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not too bad. So we'll have a fence here, and then from this one we'll go up, out, and then up one last time. And that should be all of the rigging done for the sail. Now we just need to do the sail itself, and this is actually pretty easy. So we'll do this in an L shape like that, and then we'll have 4 blocks like this with 1 on top of that. And I really should have brought some scaffolding for today, but oh well, we live and we learn. Let's go ahead and put our wool here and then here. And then from here, I kind of forget how this goes, but I believe it's something like a 2x2 here. And then we go up, and then it's 2, and then 2. It's something like this. I don't particularly remember. I may have to go and grab a screenshot from the last time that I did this, but this should be fairly close. No, that's not close at all. That's not close at all. Let me go grab a screenshot. There we go. Much better. Much, much better. So we had this L here. We have 4 with a block on top. We have that yellow wool there. 2 white wool down like this. And then it's just this pattern. So you can kind of think of this as 4 here with another 4 here, including this one, and then 2 up at the back. So pretty simple sail design. I couldn't remember it from memory. So, I mean, I like this though. That's a cool little ship. And it definitely, with the yellow and white vibes, definitely looks like this came from a desert area. I really like that. So these 2 boats are nice, but they are a bit small and not the traditional style of ship that you think of. You probably are thinking of something like a galleon, something that has a large hull with a cabin toward the back and a big mast in the middle with a sail. And that is what we're about to start on. However, these are much more complicated ships to build. And rather than showing you a block by block how to build each one of these, I think that it's going to be more useful for me to show you guys the methods to do them. Because if you know a couple of tricks, then you can build any size of ship that you want, really. So the thing that I struggle the most with when building a ship is the hull, and I imagine that's true for a lot of other people as well, because if you can't get the bottom of the ship to look right, then the entire ship is not going to look correct. However, I have found a trick that helps me to get things looking a lot more like I'm imagining, and I call this the lopsided bowl, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and make this, and stick with me here for a second, and let's take a look at this shape here. It looks like a lopsided bowl, right? Think of a bowl in Minecraft. You're going to have 2 blocks here, 3 or 4 blocks across the bottom, and then 2 blocks at an angle. But what we're doing here is we're extending this front part just by an extra bit and then going up. And that makes it look like a lopsided bowl. And that is exactly what the hull of your ship should look like. So stick with me here for just a second, and let's actually just extend this out by a bit. And we're going to do something a little bit like this. We're going to expand out our very, very miniature model here. And then we're going to start working our way in toward the center, just like this. And then bada bing, bada boom, you have something that very much so resembles the hull of a ship, right? So let's go ahead and do something a little bit like this. And then we'll do you know what, we're not even going to worry about the backside for right now. We'll go ahead and do something like this, fill that in. We'll go ahead and do something like this, fill this part in right here. And you got something that's very much resembling the hull of a ship. So that's something that I think that you guys should think about whenever you're doing these, right? You should think about a lopsided bowl and then just work your way from that into something better. Now, you can also think about things as the layout from the top. Remember that a ship is going to start at the front, very, very narrow, and then widen out as you get toward the back of the ship. So you're going to have a point here at the front, and then at the back is going to be your widest part. So those are a couple of tricks that I think that you should keep in mind whenever doing the hull for a ship. I think that this thought process is, pretty spot on. And then from here, you're just basically going to be massaging this until it actually looks good. So maybe what I would do in this case for here is I would do maybe something a bit like that, and then maybe expand this out just a bit like this. And yeah, this one definitely needs a bit of work here, but this is basically what I would do. I would start with something like this, and I would just massage it out until it actually looked good. And that's kind of the best I can do for you guys as far as giving you tips for making a ship hull. Something a little bit like this is what you want to do, and just work it until it looks good. And to be honest with you, I don't know if that explanation is going to help you whatsoever, but that is kind of the idea that I was using whenever I was designing my ships in my creative test world. And going back and listening to that footage, I realized that I probably sound like a maniac. But the lopsided bowl works for me, and that's all that matters. So I think I still have several ships that I want to get into this area. First off, I want to go ahead and make an area for a bit of a wider ship here. It's still going to be a smaller boat. Let's say it's a medium-sized boat that's going to go into this area here, and I may actually widen out this path or that path, and we're going to remove this one completely. We're going to completely get rid of this dock here so that we have a little bit more room for a slightly bigger ship in this area. And then for these really wide ships, we got some big boy boats to go into this dock over there. So this one, and then this one, and then we're probably going to do another medium-sized ship over in here. So we're still not going to fill in all of these spaces that's, available, but we're going to fill in most of them. So I have quite a bit of building to do, as well as, if I have time today, I still really want to get one out in the water out there as well. I think that would look really cool, having one with its sails actually down coming into the port. That's something that I probably should have mentioned. All of the boats that I'm going to have in here are actually going to have their sails rolled up as if they are docked. So we're not going to have huge sails blocking off our sight lines, just the masts and a bit of wool up at the top. But I have a lot of work to do, so I think it is time for us to enter in to a time lapse. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get this port up and functional. So I am loving how our ships are coming out thus far, but one thing that we are missing is the sails, and that is pretty important for ships to be able to get around. So all of these ships that are docked here at the port, I'm actually going to make the sails rolled up, kind of like what we did on this ship. However, For some of these, they're a little bit larger, so we're not going to be able to do this exactly. But for the rolled up sails, there is actually a method that I like to use in order to do these nice and easy. So I'm going to walk you guys through it real quick. And basically, you're going to come to your top pole of your mast. So the way that I think of a sail is there's going to be a top pole and a bottom pole like what we have down there. And whenever your rigging is loose, the sail is going to flow down and then going to be able to catch wind. However, if the rigging is pulled tight, if the ropes are pulled tight, then it's all going to, you know, it's gonna come up and be nice and taut up against this pole here. So we want to follow that pole pretty closely. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to follow this pole right along the edge, just like so, for our top layer. However, I'm going to come out from the end, one on this end, not even with the post itself, and then on the other end, I'm going to go out one more, but even with the post. And it just makes it look a little bit nicer, in my opinion, to do it this way. So now, once we have this layer done, what we're going to do is we're going to go in by one block. So from this, we're going to go in by one, and then we're going to go underneath, and then we're just going to kind of follow what we're doing on the inside. So we're just going to do basically like a border around the edge. And once again, going to come in one in from the side of this block. So it's going to kind of be... Oh, there we go. I guess I'm falling. It's going to be kind of shorter in the middle and toward the bottom. And it's going to make it look like it was pulled up from the bottom. It was pulled up tight by this rigging. So this is basically the idea. I'm probably, for this one, going to remove a little bit of this extra in the corners. I may... you know what? No, that's fine. We'll go ahead and keep that one there. So let's go ahead and drop down just a bit. And for the next layer, instead of going underneath here, we're actually going to go back a block just a little bit. So let's go ahead and move our scaffolding a bit. And we'll go like right here, and we'll go this, this, and then this, this, this. And once again, going one in from the edge on both sides. So we should have something that looks a bit like so. Now what I'm gonna do is fall again, apparently. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pick a color for this particular ship, and I think for this one, since we're right next to a red ship, let's do a nice royal blue wool color. I think that could look kind of nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to change out some of these wool blocks for this nice royal blue, give us a little bit of color to these sails. That will look nice. And I'll probably do like a 50-50 color here. I'll probably do 50% of this blue wool and then 50% of the white. That way it's still nice and bright with the white colors, but we got some blue mixed in to give it a little bit of a cheery mood to this area. And it doesn't have to be like perfectly, you know, beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfectly beautiful. It just has to, you know, break up the colors that we have going on here. So maybe something like this, and maybe something like that. And let's go ahead and get down and see what we have here. This is a very easy method for a rolled up sail. Let's go ahead and step back and take a look at this guy and see if it looks okay. And that's not bad. That's not bad for a rolled up sail. All right, so for this particular ship, we're going to have one more even smaller sail toward the top, and then we're going to have one at the front here, which I think I may have messed up. This section right here, that piece of wood doesn't need to be there, so I'll remove that. And I think I probably did that on this one as well if I take a look, because I think I had that fence post originally out here. I don't know. I think I have some extra blocks on this. But anyway, I'll go ahead and take that out. And I'm going to get all of the sails in for the rolled up sails. Now, for the big sails, let's go ahead and just mention these. These guys are going to have air in them. And they're going to be nice and beautiful and flowy. And I don't have a good method for them. I'm just being honest. I don't have a good method for them. My entire method is... place down the wool, take a step back, look at it, and if I don't like it, I tear the wool out, and then place more wool, and then, you know, take a step back and look at it. And those are a pain. Those are, just being honest, those are a massive pain. These much easier. And after a few hours, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The sails really do make a ship. And adding some flags here and there as well, that also really helps to add a pop of color to the area. I love how this came out. So let's go ahead and let's talk about each one of these ships, because while they are similar designs, I do have a little bit of lore behind each one of them, and that lore is about other kingdoms and also our own kingdom. So let's go ahead and head down off the side of this mountain, and let's head over to that dock area. That's been where I've been looking at this area, just kind of laying things out, and I mean, everything's turning out pretty good. Everything's turning out pretty good as far as these boats are concerned. I love this. I really do. I think it's so cool. Okay, so as you guys know, we've been doing each one of these as kind of a different kingdom. So, for instance, this boat over here we said was probably from a desert kingdom. It has a white and yellow flag, so the white being the sands of the desert and the yellow being the sun. The red and black, this sail, I'm kind of imagining this being more of a warrior-ish tribe with the, kind of harsh colors. But these are people who are peaceful enough that they are coming into port in order to trade. So, not a terrible, terrible people, but, not exactly your best friends either. And then this one, I'm kind of thinking of like a plains biome, kind of royalty, or maybe, and this may be a little bit of a stretch, but because of this nice deep blue, maybe this is like an ocean people, like somebody that lives right on the water, maybe an island people or something like that. Could be a really cool backstory for this one. But this is more of a trade ship, so these people are bringing in a lot of items, so they are they are filling up the markets here in this city. Then we have this ship over here, which is nice and bright and cheery, so I'm thinking of a biome, something like a flower forest or something like that. The bright oranges just scream, peaceful, joyful people, nothing too, crazy. Not crazy people by any means. And then last one, all the way over here at the end, this is actually one of the ships for this city, for the kingdom that we're currently in. And I did this more as a diplomatic ship. So, as you can see, it's the exact same boat as the one for the barbarian ship, the black and red over here. However, you'll notice that this one has a little bit more darker tones on the mast because these logs are not stripped, so it's a little bit rougher, whereas this one, I actually stripped down the logs, and it just makes it a little bit cleaner, and then I added in the colors for our kingdom, or I guess should I say the good side of our kingdom. There's a little bit of spoilers in there, but there we go. That is this ship. I kind of wanted this one to be a little bit more of a diplomatic ship. So something that, maybe our ambassador or something were to get on this ship and, take a crew and go and meet with another kingdom in order to discuss a treaty or something like that. So something that's out here in the port, but not a warship. Now, our last ship is way out here in the water, and this is once again repping part of the colors of this kingdom, once again with the white and the light blue, and I absolutely love how this came out. And this one is actually coming into port with the sails down, the wind actually catching the sails, and it's beautiful. It really is. Once again, repping our colors though, so maybe this one went out on a trade to another kingdom. So once again, a trading ship, so maybe this one is taking some of the things that we make here in our kingdom and delivering it to another land to trade with. So they're like coming back with gold or something like that. That was kind of my idea with this one. This is one of our trade ships, and that trade ship is coming back from, whatever market and whatever kingdom they were trying to sell in. So that's kind of my backstory for each one of these boats. And then, like the little small boats, these are probably just like fishermen or something like that. This guy's from the desert, doesn't have a ton of materials because he's from the desert, right? The deserts are barren. So this is probably a trade ship for a desert. I mean, you don't have much. What are you going to sell me? Cactus and sand? I mean, not a lot for this guy to trade, but he can come to this kingdom and he can get a lot of things, such as things out of our farmland or stuff like that. So maybe he's coming here just to shop and resupply, and then he's got a few things to barter with us. He's got some sandstone, some sand, maybe some cactus, things like that. But that's kind of the lore that I'm trying to, put into the city. I want to have a lot of, at least the port area, very focused around trade. And while this was a lot of progress to get done in one episode, we are still technically not done with these boats. We still have some things that we are missing, smaller details that I'm going to have to put in later because they're going to require materials that I just don't have at the moment. So, for instance, one of the things that I want on the trade ships is a few cannons. This isn't a warship by any means, but even trade ships often had at least a few cannons for if a pirate or something came to, steal all of their goods, so they could at least defend themselves. So, behind each one of these trap doors, I want an anvil behind there, an anvil here, an anvil here, and our anvils are going to act like little cannons. That's what they're going to look like, and I think that that's going to be a really nice touch to these ships. So that's something that I want to add. I also want to add in barrels and chests and things like that that are, things that these people are going to be trading. But also, I want to have like a theme for each one of them. So like if this guy is, I don't know, for instance, bringing in cactus or something like that, I would like to have something in the boat to symbolize what they're bringing in to trade. It would be really cool if I could have like some items actually sitting around, maybe in item frames or something like that. Maybe use some commands in order to get like some 3D invisible items, or 3D invisible item frames, I guess, instead of just normal item frames on the wall. Something like that. Just decorative pieces to each one of these. The main building of this is done, but we're missing those finer details right now, and that's something I really want to, get in later on in the series. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been a lot of work for one episode. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this, though. I know that I did. I think that this is really adding a lot to the area. Just a ton of ships. It makes this area feel a lot more full already. And once we get a few more buildings scattered in through here, this area is going to start feeling done very, very quickly. But anyway, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video, as well as if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. You guys have a great day.